Valentina loved her job. She loved it so much that she would happily live there. At home it was hard for her, especially after her husband left her. He left, expressing everything he thought about her. The kindest word was sick. Valia, of course, didn't remind him that she lost their child and the ability to be a mother because of him. Anyway, he didn't hear anyone, even though he heard his mother, who reminded them every day that all her friends have grandchildren for a long time, and for her she might end up dying alone, because God sent a handicapped daughter-in-law. The day she lost what was so dear to her, Valentina will never forget. They were at Sasha's mom's. He had quite a few drinks and decided that he needed to go home. Valia was in her 5th month. No matter how hard she tried to convince him, no matter how much she yelled, Sasha just stood his ground. Then the mother-in-law nudged her. Go with him. Make sure he doesn't speed up. Valia looked at her in surprise. But he's drunk. How am I going to go with him? I don't understand. Is he married or not? Or does he want to crash? The mother-in-law pushed her through the door and closed it behind her. Sasha flew off the road at the very first turn. He crashed neatly into the iron bus stop. The car flipped over the roof several times and landed on its wheels. Valia couldn't remember anything except her own scream and the flash. Woke up already in the hospital. She barely found out that she lost her child when her mother-in-law rushed in and blamed her for Sasha's severe injury. What are you saying? I lost a child because of him. Children are replaceable. But if Sasha doesn't pull through, how will you feel, huh? Valia thought she would get over her sorrow later. But right now, she really needed to help her husband. She still had difficulty moving, but spent a lot of time by his bedside. When Sasha came to his senses, he cried for a long time, asked her for forgiveness, repented. And 2 years later, when she went for a checkup to understand why she was not getting pregnant again, they told her she could not be pregnant. They told her she could no longer have children. The mother-in-law immediately blamed her for everything. Then her husband began to support her. And on one beautiful day, he just left, calling her all sorts of names. To be honest, Valia breathed a sigh of relief. Lately she couldn't stand either Sasha or his mother. She just kept quiet because of her gentle nature. Velchik to work. Valentina shuddered. She was so lost in thought that she even got lost. She was already in the hospital territory, it turns out, and their orderly, Grandma Lyuba, approached her. She was just on her way out of the hospital park, apparently having finished her shift. Hello, Lyudmila Andreevna. Yes, it's my shift today. Well, good luck to you. More strong and healthy babies. Thank you. Thank you. Valia smiled. That's who you should take an example from. Women love. Daughter is sick. Her husband left her. Grandchildren? She doesn't lose heart. Works part-time. Helps her daughter. Her grandchildren adore her. And yet so many troubles. Her husband died early. Then her son passed away. Her daughter fell ill. Good job, old Lady Lyuba. Not like Valia the shirker. Valentina seemed to shake herself off and moved on. She's been alone for 6 months now, but she's still worrying about something. So what? Her husband left. He wasn't much of a husband anyway, and then, she's not the only one like that. Who can't give birth themselves? There are all sorts of other ways. She should know this better than anyone. Valia worked as a midwife. What a twist of fate. She helped other people's children to be born, but she couldn't have her own. Valentina, come over to me. She ran into the doctor in the hallway. All right, Mikhail Efremovich, I just need to change. Yes, okay. Valentina didn't understand why the head of the department needed her. They rarely crossed paths, only when the births were complicated. True. Mikhail Efremovich always spoke. Valia, with your intuition, with your skills, you don't need any doctors. So my visit is just a formality. In 10 minutes, she was already knocking on the office door. May I? Yes, Val, come in. Michael Efremovich's tone was strange. What happened? It happened. Valia, if anyone can help in this situation, it's only you. We all know how persuasive you can be. Valia sighed. Did someone really abandon the child? They had such cases too, extremely rare, because their maternity hospital was elite. Not everyone could give birth here, besides. Moreover, everyone was admitted here by appointment only. Of course, there were exceptions, but they were very expensive. People who had money always planned their pregnancy. They were waiting for a child. There were a couple of times when single moms left their babies. Oh, a baby with dark skin was born to one of them. The second one did not plan to become a mother at all, but planned to marry a man who only wanted his own children. There were other cases, but Valentina managed to convince mom several times that they couldn't live without their child. And by the way, they still write to her, send pictures of children. Do you remember? Yesterday morning Shatalova was brought to us. Is this the one who was making a scene and planning to fire everyone? Exactly. A local businesswoman who thinks she's a queen. Hold on. Mikhail Efremovich. She is already 40. She herself said that this is her last chance. That's correct. Right? You see, the baby has some minor problems. Rather major, but correctable. He has a cleft lip, and she categorically stated that she will not take a cripple, that she is all such a mess, and such a child will disgrace her, or something in that spirit. My God, they do wonderful surgeries nowadays. Hardly any traces are left, but she doesn't even want to listen to me. She even said that she will move to another clinic for observation today, as if it's our fault. And Valentina sighed. What about Dad? As I understand, there is no father. That is, he was there, but purely as biological material. I don't even know what he thinks about it, and whether he knows that he had a baby. All right, Mikhail Efremovich, I'll try to talk, but something tells me that our conversations will be of no use. Yes, honestly, I think the same, but we need to try. Val, I hope you're not upset that I'm putting you on the abrasive. Well, we're working on one thing. Valentina headed straight to Sevod. Hello. The woman who was sitting on the bed turned sharply to her. She was good. For her age, of course, did not look. Hello, if you're here to persuade me, you might as well leave now. Valentina sat down calmly. But if persuading you is pointless, then I probably won't. The patient looked at her with interest. Then why did you come? Just asking. If you don't need your child at all, maybe his father will take him. He is aware that he has a child. The woman looked at her for a minute, then laughed. Oh, I can't, Daddy Oleg. He doesn't know anything. For him, only beautiful women's butts are important. He's a coach, a women's fitness coach. There was just the video, so you may not even try. Have you seen the child at all? Doubtful that he's needed by anyone. The mother-to-be turned away from Valentina, giving... Understand that the conversation is over. Valia approached the door and said it from there. It's good that you've given up on the child. Better to be in an orphanage than to have a mother like you. You're out of line. Valia didn't bother to listen to all the screaming of the cuckoo mother, but went to the children's department instead. If it weren't for this defect, the child would be simply angelic. It seems like he's only a day old, yet he's so bright. His eyes are clear. The next day, Valia visited all the fitness centers. She sensibly thought that such a lady could only be found in the most upscale and expensive places. In the penultimate list of suitors, she found that very Oleg. The man was over 30, a few years older than Valentina. Excuse me, can I talk to you? He looked friendly. Do you want to work out? Very commendable. Even such a figure as yours requires constant support. Valia was confused for a second, then she said, No, Oleg, I have a personal conversation with you. Very unusual, but very serious. So if possible, give me time so that no one can hear us. For a while, Oleg stared at her as if trying to remember. Apparently nothing worked out, and he calmed down. Good. Come to me. I just have a window now. Valentina found it hard to speak, and she was very grateful to Oleg for not interrupting her. Finally she finished. The man sat hiding his face in his hands. Yes, you do know how to surprise. Honestly, I feel like I'm stuck in some kind of nonsense. Unfortunately, it happens. So, you're suggesting we get married? And after you become the infant's mother, divorce. Moreover, the baby, who turns out to be my son, and I was completely ignorant about him. Valia looked at him. Do you want to take him? Me? He was so confused, and Valia smiled. That's what I'm talking about. Mikhail Efremovich looked at Valia with such eyes. I don't understand anything. Let's do it one more time. You're getting married to this baby's father and you're taking him? Right. He's taking the test now to prove kinship right away, and we'll take him immediately. Well, but you didn't know him yesterday. Are you saying that you fell in love so fast? Well, doesn't that happen? In your case? No. And you won't convince me here. Let's go, my dear. Tell me what you have in mind. Valia sighed. She knew Mikhail Efremovich too well to hope that he would back off. Mikhail Efremovich was pacing from corner to corner. Well, how could you even think of something like that? And if he gets so attached to the child during the time you have to live together, that he wouldn't want to leave him with you? She perhaps shrugged. I don't know what and how to proceed, but for now I will do as I see fit. If you don't want to help us, I'll manage on my own. He finally sat down. I'll help you. I understand. It's impossible to persuade you. Let's help. What kind of clinic is it? Maybe there is someone who can help. In the hospital, there wasn't a lazy person who didn't gasp at what Valia had done. No one believed that Oleg and they really fell in love. Valia kept silent, and Oleg didn't talk to anyone, even more so. They were leaving the hospital together. In Valia's arms was little Misha, and in Oleg's hands were flowers. He laughed at the kingpin. Let's swap, shall we? Anna handed him the baby. Oleg, don't think. Don't look at him now. Everything will be fine with him after the surgery. The man gave her a lingering look. You're an amazing person, Valia. Now you're asking for my forgiveness, apologizing for my own son. She smiled quietly. Oleg opened the car door, helped Val to get in. Look at the windows of your hospital. I think not only the staff's noses are stuck there, but also all the patients. Valia glanced at the windows. Her gaze turned cold. She smiled broadly and waved. Yes, an amazing woman. Oleg got behind the wheel and headed for the house where Valentina lived. For their future child, they decided to portray family life where he would later live. 3 years have passed. Mikhail Efremovich is thoughtfully looking at Valentina. Well, I don't understand anything. What's there to understand? Mikhail Efremovich, I'm going on maternity leave. Which maternity leave? You said. Valia laughed happily. Well, doctors are not gods. They can make mistakes. Wait, what about that boy? With the boy? Well, if you're talking about Misha, everything is fine. They should be in the pool with Dad now, right? So it turns out your child is also from... What's his Oleg? They are both my children. Oleg. Oleg is the best dad and husband in the world. Mikhail Efremovich was looking at Valia, and he thought about the fact that no one in their maternity hospital believed that Valia could. No one even thought that she could have anything with Oleg.
She is just
Before him is a different woman, beautiful, open, No embarrassment, no oppression. Well, I sincerely wish you all the best. Really, I'm very happy for you. You've earned all this. Valentine.
Tinas got up.
Thank you, Mikhail Efremovich. If possible, I would like to have my checkups and give birth
Live
here.
together.
Of course, Val. I will personally keep an eye on you. Mikhail Efremovich is looking out the window. Oleg carefully helped Valia into the car. While a little boy was running around nearby, thoughts kept coming to mind that Valia could have had the day off that day. That the boy could end up in an orphanage. Another voice contradicted. Well, he did work. Well, he didn't make it. The doctor sighed. It's easy to convince us of the bad and hard of the good. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like the story, please support me with a thumbs up. All the best.